Hello, church family. Coming back with a double take. Just another one, just for reference, for those who couldn't make it or those who just want to refresh. Today, I just want to recap finding your place in the world. We talked about this one because it's really, really valuable. There's something to be gained by taking our religious experience outside of the customs and the schedule and the traditions and really the building of the church and getting into the world. The gospel enterprise is going. Centralization, consolidation, that's not what Christ had in mind for the church. And that's why we see the persecution come. Persecution drove the disciples out of Jerusalem and into the world. And that calling is still there. We need to be going people, going into the world and engaging the world. And it's so important that we nurture our faith and develop a faith that is appealing, is gravitational, and that connects with people in the world is valuable. And Christians have always had a place in the world like that. We've had statespersons, Jimmy Carter and Eleanor Roosevelt. We talked about them, how they were very devout Christians of a particular tradition, and they left their mark. Nobel laureates, it's estimated 65% of Nobel laureates are Christian or had Christian backgrounds while they were in science and in developing their reward or their outcomes. We've had change makers. Albert Schweitzer, who's a medical missionary. Jane Addams, she was a social reformer, peace advocate, and social worker. We've always had people, Christians have always had a place in the world. And it's important we find ours and fulfill our place. We matter to God. Everybody matters to God for a lot of reasons, but particularly because you matter. You have a part to play. You contribute. Your talent, your abilities, your skills are necessary to the gospel enterprise, both locally and globally. And we talked about how you fit into the purpose and plan of God. And purpose, we described as why something is done, and plan is how something is done. So we give you some examples. The purpose of God in Christ was redemption and reconciliation of humanity. The local church that is ethnically and socially and culturally reflective of local communities is how redemption and reconciliation happens. So we had the purpose and we had the plan, we had the reason, and we had the how. The new birth is all about restoring humanity and the image bearer status before God and creating healthy, whole people so they can fit in families and contribute to family units. And that's the purpose of the new birth, or one of them. And how that happens is, expert loving counselors and caregivers and peer support people that nurture restoration. So that's purpose and that's plan. That's how and that's why. So we talked about that, and I was kind of frank when I said we don't need a whole lot more platform people. We need a whole lot more people going into the world. We need people like counselors and artists and designers and hospitality people and capitalists and economists and technology people. We need all that talent and all that ability to kind of come together and enable us to reach the world, to be in the world, whether it's raising money or managing YouTube channels or cross-communicating with the Sikhs and those who speak Spanish or another language. We need that. And living our best life is key to finding and filling our role in God's plan. The first part of living our best life is understanding that the past is not our future and the future is not our past. We have to move away in a healthy way. The second is we need to understand ourselves and be responsible to push out our growth edges. And we really kind of looked at how God designed us as psychological, moral, spiritual creatures in a body, and how we just have to come to terms with that. We're all broken. We're all lost. There is no holiness. There is no righteousness that you and I can do and we can live that changes what we are without God and without grace and without this new birth. So everybody needs help, and we've got to own that. And we've got to do something with that. And then lastly, we must understand that spirituality is not religion. Paul talks about this very, very clearly. there would be people who would have a form of godliness, but it wouldn't have any power. They would be religiously faithful, but that faithfulness to a religion would not change them. Their marriages wouldn't get better. They wouldn't be smarter, healthier, wiser people. They wouldn't have more to give to the world around them. So, church family, please, let's be in the world. And let's reach the world for God. And the fastest way and the best way to get there is living our best life for God. All right. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.